Williams, and a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. As per usual, it's my role to share with you the Health Emergency Operating Center's situation report for today, Wednesday, March the 3rd, 2021. As at today, the Federation would have reported a total of 41 confirmed cases of COVID-19. I want to share with you that 40 of these cases would have fully recovered. So at present, we only have one active case in our Federation. And I want us to please note that the last case, the last imported case, was identified 18 days ago. Now, in terms of a quick overview of the COVID-19 status globally, at present, 114.3 million persons have been confirmed with this disease internationally, and over 2.5 million deaths have been reported globally. And this is as reported by the World Health Organization's COVID-19 dashboard. In the United States of America, 28.7 million persons would have been confirmed with COVID, and over 516,000 deaths would have been reported. That's deaths as a result of COVID-19. Now, in terms of the CARICOM member states, collectively, the islands would have reported a total of 109,764 confirmed cases and 2,431 deaths. This slide just gives you an idea as to what's happening in terms of the outbreak in our neighboring islands. So Antigua and Barbuda would have reported over 769 cases, Barbados over 3,000, St. Lucia over 3,500, St. Vincent and the Grenadines over 1,600, and Grenada 148. At present, we have students who would have returned for classes at the Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine. They are presently in quarantine. They would have come in a week ago. A total of 93 students would have completed the first week of their 14-day quarantine period. Between last year and present, over 9,872 persons have been tested for COVID-19 in the Federation, and only 41 of these results would have returned positive. So that gives us a positivity rate of 0.4%. In quarantine, we have a total of 5,798 persons. At present, I said we only have one active case, so that individual remains in isolation, and just underscoring that we would have had 40 cases recovered to date. Okay, so just an overview as to what's happening in terms of our national COVID-19 vaccination rollout. Now, in terms of access to the COVID-19 vaccines, St. Kitts and Nevis would have received a generous donation of 20,000 doses of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine just this past Monday morning. On February the 11th, we received a generous donation of 2,000 doses of the same vaccine from Dominica. Now, in terms of the COVAX facility, we've said repeatedly that the Federation would have signed on to this facility, and we are expecting a total of over 21,600 doses through this facility. But however, at present, we do not yet have a specific date, an expected time of arrival of this amount or allotment from or through the COVAX facility. But please note that access the COVID-19 vaccine is crucial to curbing the spread of this pandemic. Okay, so the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine is the vaccine that we are offering to our population, and this vaccine provides us 83% risk reduction in contracting symptomatic COVID-19. We are using the dosing schedule of 2 doses of this vaccine given 10 weeks apart. So the dosing schedule involves a 10-week interval between dose 1 and dose 2. We are targeting individuals over 18 years, so that's between 18 and 80 years. But please note, 80 is not a cut point. We are recommending that individuals who are over 80, that you go to your physician, your regular physician, be evaluated such that your physician can give you the nod of approval to proceed and take this vaccine. Now, this vaccine is quite effective against the UK variant, and it has a very good side effect profile. In other words, individuals who would have received this vaccine between last week and now, they would have only expressed minimal side effects. As a matter of fact, most have not complained of any side effects. The vaccine that we are offering was manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. And for me, it was very reassuring to note that the Serum Institute of India manufactures over 90% of the vaccines that we have been using and continue to use in our federation. These are the vaccines that we give our children and have been giving our children, over the past 10, 20 years. So for me, that's very reassuring. Now, in terms of our rollout of our COVID-19 vaccination plan, now between last week, Monday, and last evening, yesterday, Tuesday, March the 2nd, we would have vaccinated a total of 1,356 persons in the Federation. But today alone, that's Wednesday, March the 3rd, we vaccinated 729 persons. And I'm happy to share that I am included in that 729 persons. So to date, we would have vaccinated 2,085 persons in our federation. In other words, we would have reached 6.3% of our target population just in a matter of 9 days. Yeah, so in 9 days, 6.3% of our target population, a total of 2,085 persons. Now, in terms of this vaccine, more and more persons are coming forward and providing consent to receiving this vaccine. However, if you are experiencing a cold, respiratory tract infection, and you are having a fever, we're going to ask you to postpone vaccination. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, we'll ask you to postpone also. Again, we are targeting persons over 18 years, and if perchance you have a history of severe or significant allergic reactions to any of the chemical components of the vaccine, we would ask you not to take it, or this would be a contraindication to taking the vaccine. So in order to access the vaccine, so if you're at home and you are listening and you're convinced and you're ready for the vaccine, all you have to do is go to the nearest health center, irrespective of the priority group. So ladies and gentlemen, this week, Monday, we would have received an additional 20,000 doses of the vaccine. And so we are no longer adhering to the priority groups as we explained last week. So irrespective of the priority group that you find yourself, once you are ready, once you are empowered with the information and you would have made an informed decision, all you need to do is go to the nearest health center to access the vaccine. You don't have to even call 311. Just go to the nearest health center to access the vaccine. and get your first dose, and you'll be given an appointment to come back in 10 weeks for the second dose. The health centers are the primary vaccination sites. So in St. Kitts last week, we would have started with 4 health centers. So that's Newtown, Bastille, Sandy Point, Tabernacle. Now, as of today, we rolled it out in Keyon, Molyneux, and St. Peter's. So Keyon, Molyneux, and St. Peter's Health Center, they were open and persons were able to access the COVID-19 vaccination at these sites. And within short order, in another day or two, we would add Old Road Health Center and St. Paul's Health Center, and then shortly thereafter, Sadler's and Dieppe. In St. Kitts, in Nevis, you can access the vaccine at either of the 6 health centers. Now, what are some of the post-vaccine symptoms that persons are, sharing with us? Some complain of tenderness or pain at the injection site. Some said that, during the evening after receiving the vaccine, they felt cold or they experienced chills. Some had mild fever, which was relieved by paracetamol. Some complained of malaise or fatigue, body aches and pains, and or mild headache. These are just some of the more common post-vaccine symptoms. The Ministry of Health, we have developed a comprehensive communication plan, and the aim is for us to empower our people, build trust, and generate demand for acceptance of the vaccine. So members of the Ministry of Health and the task force have been engaged in a number of have been hosting stakeholder meetings. So we've met with the police. Tomorrow, I think we are meeting with Immigration and Customs. This morning, I would have facilitated a very nice presentation with the entire Ministry of Finance. And so we are hosting these stakeholder meetings, giving persons an opportunity to have their questions answered, to have any misconceptions cleared up, such that we can empower persons to make informed decisions, create demand, and increase acceptance of this vaccine. Our goal is for adults to access the vaccine. So in other words, our aim is to vaccinate our adult population, which comprise 72.4% of our population based on the last census. However, ladies and gentlemen, as we vaccinate our people, we must continue the essential public health actions to suppress transmission and reduce mortality. Because at present, only 6.3% of our population have received the first dose. And so we have to continue the prevention and control measures, active surveillance, testing, the wearing of the face mask, physical distance, and adequate hand hygiene. We must continue these measures until we would have achieved herd immunity, until we would have vaccinated a significant proportion of our population. Get the facts, choose the vax. So ladies and gentlemen, I have every confidence in the safety and efficacy of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. So this afternoon, I took my vaccine. I got my first jab. If you are interested in getting your first jab, we want you to get the facts, make an informed decision, and when you have chosen to go to the nearest health center, just a recommendation, dress appropriately. Wear short sleeves as I did, or sleeveless top. Go to the nearest health center. You will be asked to complete the pre-vaccination checklist. The nurse would help you in this regard, and get your first dose. Upon receipt of the first dose of the vaccine, you will be given your COVID-19 vaccination record card. And we are asking you to keep this safely, because chances are when things resume, or approach normalcy and you start, to travel, you may have to utilize and show this COVID-19 vaccine card. You'll also be given an appointment to return in 10 weeks. All right, and so this is just an idea as to the pre-vaccination checklist, just some basic demographic data. You're going to have to provide us your name, your age, place of birth, your occupation, and some questions in terms of, what are the medical conditions that you have? Are you on any medication? Do you have any history of allergic reaction to any of the chemicals? Just some basic data. So it's very easy to complete. Within 5 minutes, I was able to complete my pre-vaccination checklist this afternoon. And then this just gives you a snapshot of the COVID-19 vaccination record card. The next slide. Yes, so this is a sample of the COVID-19 vaccination record card. And the next slide shows you that we are going to record the first dose, the type of vaccine, it's the Covishield, the manufacturer, the Serum Institute of India, the batch number, the date, and then the health professional who would have administered the vaccine will send you a card. When you come back in 10 weeks to get the second dose, the card will be filled out appropriately, and then we would affix the Ministry of Health stamp on the card, and then your card would be an official record of your receiving your full schedule of your COVID-19 vaccination. Hashtag our best shot. Ladies and gentlemen, this Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is our best shot. Our best shot at protecting ourselves, best shot at protecting our families, protecting our community, and rebuilding our economy. Hashtag COVID-19 vaccine is our best shot. I'm going to invite you now to look at a brief video that was recorded a few hours ago, just earlier this afternoon. To administer my first jab of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. Her hands are sanitized. She's not wearing gloves. And this is an international standard. So during vaccination, what's required is that your hands be sanitized, thoroughly sanitized. Wearing of gloves is not indicated. It's only indicated if there is an open lesion on the individual or if the individual has a rash. So she's following the international standard in terms of sanitizing her hands and administering the vaccine. I'm not really afraid of needles, but I just don't like to be on the receiving end. I would prefer to give an injection, but not receive one. But she was rather patient with me this afternoon. I would have received my first jab of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. A Band-Aid was applied, and so that's the end. I received my COVID-19 vaccination record card, and I was given a 10-week appointment when I'm to return to receive the second jab. And I thank you.